Hello my students, you're welcome to my channel. Today's lesson is going to be characteristics of living things. Before I go into that, I want to ask, how was your day? Now we are going to discuss characteristics of living things. Now you will be wondering, what are living things? But before that, at the end of this lecture, we're going to have some certain take home. One of them is this: we're going to be able to list the characteristics of living things. We're also going to be able to explain these characteristics of living things in details. And finally, we'll be able to answer questions that come from this topic. So I welcome you. Come on board. Let us write together. Alright, so first of all, we're going to define what are living things. Living things are creatures with life. Living things are creatures with life. Example, plants and animal. You see, plants and animal are living things, meaning that my table is not a living thing. All the items you have in the class, like your board and the rest of them, are not living. They're not living things too. So I summarize them as Mr. Niger DCA. Mr. Niger DCA. M stands for movement. R stands for reproduction. N stands for nutrition. I stands for irritability. G stands for growth. E stands for excretion. R stands for respiration. D stands for death. C stands for competition. And A stands for adaptation. And we're going to take them one after the other. Movement. Now you might have gone somewhere and you're back. Okay? Now, living things move. We move in search of food, move in search of pleasure, move in search of one or two things as animals. But plants, some move like unicellular organisms like Euglena. They whip their flagella and they're able to move about. Plants, higher plants like flowering plants, they don't move about, but they can move parts of their body towards what they need. For example, the potted plant can move the head towards the light. That is what positive phototropism. They can move their roots towards the ground. Okay, it's called positive geotropism. And then they can also move towards water, where they can get water also. It's positive hydrotropism. So the kinds of movement will go in details in future on that. Now, reproduction is another characteristic of living things. In a reproduction, it is being able to have young ones. Being able to have what? Young ones. Young ones that will replace the species. That will replace our species. Okay? We'll have young ones. If you are animals that lay eggs, they are called oviparous, while the ones that give birth to their young ones alive are viviparous. Okay, so but in plants, okay, we have they have fruiting plants, we have non-fruiting plants. So some you cut the stem and you lay them in the ground and they're able to germinate and continue to the growth. But there are others that you need the seeds to plant in the ground before they germinate. So all these young ones, even the fruits, the seeds we eat today, are young ones from the plants. What are their need? They need to continue their generation. The next one is nutrition. So you eat every day. Everybody has to eat something. Okay, we need to survive. Okay, maybe you are eating rice today, you are eating beans, you are eating potato, you eat bread and tea, something. So we must eat. Okay, on daily basis. That's why we get our nutrients. That's why we get our energy for the day's work. Likewise, the plants, they eat. They use their roots to get some nourishment, nutrients, and they manufacture their own food by the process of what? Photosynthesis. What do they need as raw material? They need carbon dioxide and they need water. Right, so the next one is irritability. If I pinch you now, you feel pain, is it not? When it's feeling cold, you feel cold. You shake your body. When the snow is falling, okay, you wear a lot of clothes so that you can cover yourself like that. And when you're feeling hot, you open your clothes and you use fan to it's so hot. It's so hot in there. Okay, what are you trying to do? You're trying to respond to stimulus. You're responding because you're alive. Okay. Likewise, the plants, they respond like you saw that potted plant responding towards the light. Alright, so that's irritability or responding to stimulus. Another name for irritability is sensitivity. Okay, so now growth will grow every day. You're not this big as last year. Okay, you have added something. Some of you have grown a mustache, Some of you have grown some broad shoulder. Some of you, if you're an adolescent, some of you have grown some breast. If you're a girl, they're coming out. A lot of things about your body is changing, that kind of thing. So now we are adding in sizes. Okay, just like the plants, the same thing. They were once seedlings. Gradually they started becoming small plants. Gradually they become flowering plants. Before we know it, they are seeding and then producing food. So they're growing. Apart from apical growth, which is at the tip and at the root hairs, we also have growth around the plants. So we are not only development is also part of it. They are all growth of one kind or the other. Excretion, how to pass out waste product of metabolism from our bodies. You understand? So all those things we don't need in our bodies don't need. It would need to be taken away from the body. It's not good for the body. It is toxic for the body. When I say excretory product, I don't mean excreta or like feces. They are not byproducts of metabolism. But we are talking about carbon dioxide, we are talking about urea, we are talking about uric acid, depending on the animal or the plants. Okay, then in the plants they also excrete oxygen in the process, but they use the CO2 that comes out from us, and they use and we use their oxygen, they use our CO2. Okay, so there's an exchange there in waste products, and God has a way of cycling these things so that there's no waste in this in nature. So living things excrete. Respiration. If I pinch your nose now, after 10 seconds you see that you are struggling to breathe. You want to breathe, okay, because you need air. We all need air, okay, because we're alive. The plants also, they need their own CO2, so they need oxygen to grow. So every living organism needs oxygen of one kind or the other. So there's another one we call cellular respiration, which is inside the individual cells of the body. So we are going to go in details on that, okay, in our future lesson. So that was the respiration. One of the characteristics of living things. Death is another characteristic of living things. If all these characters I mentioned we are not abided by, we are not able to do them, one day you stop existing. And how does someone die? The organs begin to pack up gradually until no more. Plants also have the same. When they have existed their lifespan, okay, when they have done their fruiting and everything, if it is an annual crop, it will eventually die. If it's a biennial crop, it will die one day. If it's a perennial crop, after a while, after some years, it will eventually die. Just like a human being, after a while we grow old and we eventually do what? Die. So that is by the way. Now, competition. You see the way you used to drag things with your brother. That's my room. Oh no, that's my parlor. Oh no, that is my grocery. Oh, don't take my biscuit. I know that you are trying to get something for yourself. We're dragging space. We're dragging a lot of areas. Okay, so these things are characteristics of living things you are displaying. Okay, even the plants, they are looking for how to get enough canopy so they can get enough sunlight, from the sky. And in the roots, they're also trying to find, using their roots to move from places to places so that they can get deeper and get a lot of nutrients from the ground. Okay, so everybody is competing for something, competing for space, competing for love, competing for attention, and rest of them. Everybody is competing for something, just like those dogs in the illustration. So another one is adaptation. A living thing must adapt to a certain environment, but there's what we call tolerance range. There ranges beyond which you cannot exceed, otherwise you are going to have problem. So we have a tolerance range within which we can adapt in our environment. So even if you are feeling cold, you don't overexpose yourself. That my potted plant, it was supposed to grow on the soil, but this potted plant has been moved to grow on water. Okay, now it is hydroponic plants. Okay, so now it's survived over time depending on water and nutrients. So we're going to stop here, but before we go, we're going to take certain questions home. Study questions. 1. List 5 characteristics of living things that you have studied. List 5 characteristics of living things that you have studied. 2. What do you understand by adaptation? What do you understand by adaptation? Number 3. Removal of waste products from the body is called dash. Removal of waste products from the body is called dash. And finally, the process by which plants use carbon dioxide and water to manufacture its own food is called dash. The process by which plants use carbon dioxide and water to manufacture their own food is called dash. Thank you for listening. See you next time in our next lecture. I am Mr. Sam. Thank you.